Donald Trump's election campaign faced a backlash today after his big rally in New York's Madison Square Garden last night was marred by racist and offensive remarks from support speakers. One of them described Puerto Rico as an island of garbage. Kamala Harris said it was more of the same from the Trump camp. Both Mr. Trump and Vice President Harris are tonight locked into their last full week of campaigning ahead of next Tuesday's vote for the White House. The battleground states that will decide the outcome in the South, the Southwest and the industrial Northeast are now the major focus for both campaigns. But much of the talk today has been about yet another controversial Trump rally.
Even before it started, the tone of this rally was clear. In America's most storied venue, thousands gathered for a celebration of American nativism and fury towards Kamala Harris. Right from the first speaker, a theme of racism and vulgarity emerged.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Lapped up by the MAGA faithful, much of the rhetoric was focused on one target, plumbing new lows in American political discourse.
Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, she is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist.
Her and her pimp handlers will destroy our country.
Hillary Clinton had accused Trump of recreating a Nazi rally held in this building in 1939, a claim which was referenced several times throughout the evening.
I don't see no stinking Nazis in here.
Amid this kitsch spectacle, at times more akin to a pantomime, Trump's message was deadly serious.
And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
A few left early, but most were happy with what they heard.
Some of the jokes at the beginning about Puerto Rico, is that going to possibly alienate Latino voters?
It's a joke. No one takes that serious.
Trump is not alone. Latinos for President Trump.
This rally was never about attempting to win New York State in the presidential election. This is about prestige and fundraising. Before Donald Trump got on stage, though, we heard a series of speeches in which there were profanities, there were racist jokes, and there were some very personal attacks towards the Democrats.
Today, as she headed to Wisconsin, Kamala Harris hit back.
Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other. Fans the fuel of hate and division, and that's why people are exhausted with him.
Provocative rhetoric from Trump or his surrogates doesn't appear to have damaged his prospects in the past. In a week's time, we'll find out if this rally has made any difference to this election. Dan Rivers, News at 10, New York City.
Well, Kamala Harris's campaign team will this week be striving to shore up her support on issues like the economy, where she's perceived to be vulnerable. She herself is in Michigan tonight, where jobs and the economy are key factors, while there have also been big Harris rallies in Pennsylvania. It was at one of these last night where other potentially divisive issues like Gaza also came to the fore.
Within hours of Puerto Rico being mocked at a Trump rally, Kamala Harris was visiting a Puerto Rican restaurant in Philadelphia. The contrast delighting Democratic Party campaign managers. But everywhere she goes, the vice president is also having to reassure supporters who are growing increasingly anxious.
Don't worry, okay? Don't worry.
Unmistakably, the worries are growing, even as she seeks to maintain that sense of joy on the trail. The backdrops are carefully chosen. Black-owned barbershops and high school basketball courts.
When I look at you, I know the future of our country is so bright.
At every opportunity, she talks of a diverse and forward-looking America. The unspoken question that haunts the Harris team is whether her campaign has stalled at precisely the time she wanted to gain momentum.
Why is it so unbelievably close?
I'm perplexed by that.
I don't understand. I couldn't understand in a million years why it's this close.
For the candidate, her party, and all of liberal America, these are days of enormous tension.
Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it?
For Harris, this is the greatest prize of them all. Pennsylvania, the keystone state. Can she mobilize and energize, not just in the cities, but in the suburbs as well?
But even as she spoke, we could see for ourselves how her coalition of voters is fracturing over Gaza and over Harris's support for Israel. It's a question I put to Mark Ruffalo, the actor and activist.
What would you say to Arab American voters in particular, given your passion about Palestine?
Listen, it's a hard time, and it's a very, very difficult time. There's no perfect candidate right now, but we know what Trump will do. He'll sell out the Arabs.
At a local mosque, we quickly discovered why Harris faces such a severe challenge with Muslim and black Americans, as some turn to Trump.
Every Democrat, they come in the city when it's time to vote, and they kiss the baby and they tell you what they're going to do. We've been voting Democrat in Philadelphia for many, many years, and nothing has ever changed.
Can she overcome that deep sense of disillusionment? As she barnstorms the Midwest, that is the single most significant question of these next 7 days. Robert Moore, News at 10, Philadelphia.
Well, Dan and Robert are following both campaigns in the build-up to the election. This evening they are in Pennsylvania, that key swing state in America's northeastern industrial belt. To Dan first. Dan, is Mr. Trump likely to be affected by the furore over that rally in New York, or is it all water off a duck's back?
Well, look, I think the campaign realise potentially it's a bit of a problem. They've put out a statement from Daniel Alvarez, a senior Trump advisor, saying the joke doesn't represent the president or the campaign. They are well aware that here in Pennsylvania there are a significant number of people of Puerto Rican heritage, up to 500,000. So potentially in a state that is going to be so closely fought over, that could be problematic. Behind me at the moment, you can probably hear Don Trump Jr. Speaking here in Copley at a shooting club. It's a sign that they're fighting for every single vote. They know how close this was in 2020. Joe Biden won here by only 80,000 votes. Their internal polling, it's being reported, suggests that they might be marginally ahead, but we're talking by, less than 1% potentially. So they know this is going to come down to fighting in every small community like this for every last vote to try and get it over the line. But as Don Trump Jr. said in the last few minutes, we know it's not going to be easy here in Pennsylvania.
OK, Dan, many thanks indeed. So, Robert, to you now in the big Pennsylvania city of Philadelphia. Is Harris able to turn that Trump rally to an advantage?
Oh, Democrats see huge opportunities in the aftermath of that Madison Square Garden rally. Tonight, they're already launching a whole advertising campaign targeting Hispanic and minority voters. And they also see opportunistically great sequencing and timing, because this time tomorrow, in exactly 24 hours' time, Kamala Harris gives her closing argument to the campaign, and she has chosen a symbolic spot. She will do so outside the White House at the exact same location where Donald Trump gave his infamous January the 6th speech just before the Capitol was stormed. And Democrats absolutely hope that visually frames the end of this campaign and the choice for voters. They hope the voters will decide, do they want an agent of chaos and division, or do they want a president who seeks to unite Americans, irrespective of their backgrounds?
Robert, thank you.